Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all the newest fitness and nutrition content I have to share with you in hopes of finding your healthy place. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to go over some low-carb alternatives. So if you are entering a diet phase, or if you're currently just trying to go a little low-carb, just doing a little mini cut, I have a whole bag here of things that I have found over the last couple months while I'm in my diet phase that have helped me, and I've been able to substitute for like regular breads, pastas, rice, cereals, all that kind of stuff. So things that some things maybe you wouldn't think of, but a lot of it is kind of redundant and does, like rice cakes. There's like 1,000 different rice cakes if you really look closely out there. Like there's so many different kinds you can do, but it's nice to see the variety of stuff and know that all of this is available. So I'm gonna start off with some cold items. So we have here, this is just Green Giant brand, but it's rice cauliflower. This is a great alternative instead of using rice. Much lower in carbs. Hi, Abby. Much lower in carbs, and you can eat more of it if you want, but still stay within your allowance for the day. But definitely good to use it. Of course, you'll have to flavor it a little bit. It's not gonna taste like a rice, and the consistency is slightly different, but it still gives you that idea of rice. And then another one here, zucchini. This is great to use zucchini noodles, any kind of squash noodles, in place of pasta. It definitely, you get like a large quantity and you're able to do a lot of different things with this cooking wise. It's a great alternative and definitely will fill you up a lot too. And what I like about these things, using like the veggies in place of the grains, you can kind of trick yourself into thinking you're eating a lot when you're really eating less, because the calorie and carb count in this, like cauliflower and zucchini, is so much less than any kind of rice or pasta. So you could even eat a large portion of it or make it look like a large portion and really feel like you're not being gypped out of anything in that sense. The last one here I have is yogurt. I love yogurt. I usually have at least one a day. My biggest thing when I was in my improvement season, I would do yogurt and granola. And of course, granola is higher in carbs, usually a little bit higher in fat, and some of it's higher in protein, but for the most part, the yogurt itself, I switched up. I was using the Oikos Pro, which is like the zero sugar, zero fat. And I really do like that one, but I was just kind of experimenting, trying some different flavors, and it's really important to pay attention when you're getting a yogurt to the sugar content that's in it. So that's a big thing to look at. But these Chobani's zero sugars are really good. They have some awesome flavors. Really excited to try this one. I have not tried this one yet. All right, so moving on here. I'm gonna do some snacks because I feel like I've got a lot of my snacks on top. So sometimes I just kind of add in a snack with my meal just to help reach my macros for the day, or I'm just feeling a little snacky. So I kind of want something, I know I can spare some carbs somewhere. So some of my go-tos, I absolutely love these popcorns. We have a sea salt and then a Himalayan sea salt and olive oil. These are from Target. Absolutely love these. I stock up on them every time I go. You can have like 3 cups of this and it's only 15 grams of carbs. That's a lot. So once again, you're not feeling like you're being deprived. You're being able to eat a good amount of food and still it's not making a dent in your carbs really for the day. So these are a great alternative. And of course they're low in fat. Sodium isn't bad. And your ingredients are popcorn, salt, and oil. Like 3 things. That's not bad at all. But these have been my go-tos. I like to snack up on those. Some other really good ones, since I love chocolate. I'm a big chocolate girl. I found these wonderful popped cakes. I found these at Wegmans. They have drizzled chocolate on the top, and these are only 7 grams of carbs for just one of these. And these are bigger than like your normal rice cakes, but they're thinner. So sugar's only 2 grams of sugar per serving, 1.5 grams of fat. Like these are a nice little treat to have, and not feel like you're undoing your diet in any kind of way. Definitely recommend these if you have a Wegmans near you. And going with that, I have another flavor of them. They're almost gone. This one is just a wheat and brown rice. So I use these a lot, this flavor and I think a whole wheat. I do them with hummus as like a little snack. So this, you can have 3 of these as a serving, and it's only 12 grams of carbs. So once again, you still kind of feel like you're eating a lot and you're not. So you can use a hummus. I have like a chocolate hummus, and then I have like a regular spinach and artichoke. So I kind of mix it up, but that's usually what I do with these. And then going off of rice cakes, I have so many rice cakes here. All different flavors. I think that's it. Yeah, that's all the rice cakes. So I kind of vary these up. The flavored ones I usually use as like a complement to a meal, just to kind of add in some extra carbs, or just to have a little bit of flavor, add a little bit of snack. But most of the time I use the lightly salted or non-salted. For my breakfast, I like to do an egg scramble with veggies, and then I was doing toast with peanut butter and then fruit on top. So now that I'm cutting my carbs down a little bit, I've switched up my fruit. I used to use bananas a lot, so now I use a lot of berries. They're lower in carbs. Still get that sweet taste and that indulgence. And then I use these rice cakes because they are lighter in carbs, and of course they're a lot less in sodium than breads are. So these are my go-to for my breakfast. Sometimes I'll use the flavored ones, but not really. I've got like a white cheddar that wouldn't taste good at all. And then I've got apple cinnamon and caramel, which of course they're a little bit different in their carbs, I believe. Actually, no, they're not. I thought they were because of the sugar, but no, these are about 11 grams, the sweeter ones, and the white cheddar's 8 grams. So fairly similar in carbs. And then the plain ones here are 7 grams. So they're not that far off, but the sweeter ones are a little bit higher. So I usually tend to eat them by themselves instead of with other stuff. So definitely these will become your best friends too. Keep those on you. And then some other similar items to these rice cakes. I have these lovely rice rolls. I found these, they're in like the Asian section at the grocery store. There's actually a lot of good stuff in that section to check for if you're kind of doing like a diet phase or a low carb. They've got a lot of good alternatives, and I think the stuff tastes pretty good. So some of these, this one I believe it's non-flavored. It's just probably got like a little bit of a sweetness to it because it does have sugar and corn syrup. And then this one with a touch of sweetness. Yeah, so these are both kind of like a plain flavor, but I have had ones that are, I think one was like a ginger or a lime or something. It was really good. So they do have flavored ones out there if you look. You just have to try and find them. But I mean, virtually these are just carbohydrates. Like no fat, no sodium, no cholesterol. This one has 1 gram of protein. This one has no protein. But 8-9 grams of carbs for one roll. Like that's not a bad deal for a nice little snack to have. So you can still feel like you're eating food without depriving yourself of all the real goodies. So those have definitely been some of my go-tos. And then some more, I am big on these rice cakes and trying different things. I found these little deli pops. They have these at my Wegmans, but I actually ordered these off of Amazon. It was a 3-pack. So there's a whole wheat, a cinnamon, and just a wheat, brown rice, and barley. So I actually used these one morning for breakfast with my egg scramble. I did peanut butter. I did one of each actually because they're smaller, so I could do one of each. They're only like 20 calories for one little cake, 15, 20 calories for one little cake, and like 4 grams of carbs per for rice cakes. So they're actually really good. I like the cinnamon flavored one. I was kind of worried it wasn't going to be too cinnamony, but it's actually a really good flavor. And then I just topped it with some peanut butter and then put like some fruit on top of it, and it was still very enjoyable. So these are definitely going to be a go-to. It's nice to have a different variety of these kind of rice cakes because you've got like the crunchy rice rolls. You've got the pop cakes, which are like bigger cakes. You've got these small ones. You've got a normal rice cake. So you have all different sizes and consistencies of these rice cakes. So you can experiment with different kinds and use different ones for different meals. These would probably be really good with like tuna as well, probably the regular rice cakes. So those are some things to think about. And then I have these, which are thin stackers. These are red rice and quinoa. So these are similar to the rice cakes. They're just that one's broken, but they're like a square shaped rice cake. And these are not bad. I mean, these are definitely a little bit plain. These are more plain than some of the other things I have here. But you can have 4 of these for 23 grams of carbs. So I would definitely use these if I was doing something like a tuna. Like this would count as my grain, like my bread or something that I would top that on. But they're definitely a good alternative. Not my first go-to, but still a good one. Okay, and then kind of going off of the rice cakes, I have rice crackers. So I don't know if any of you have ever tried these. These are also in the Asian section at the grocery store. I've definitely tried these in the past. It's been a while, but they're really good. As you see, I already got into the wasabi flavored. These are very strong. I warn you now. So if you are interested in trying these, it's not a kick at first. It's like an after kick. So you will definitely feel it. But they're really good. You can have 30 grams, so about 15 pieces, so the packaging says, for like 107 calories, 1 gram of fat, no cholesterol, no saturated fat, and 22 grams of carbs, 2 grams of protein. So, I mean, that's a pretty hefty snack that you can get out of these. So you could definitely, cut that serving size in half if you wanted to. You just wanted a little bit of a taste, just to have that little bit of crunch or something. But these are definitely a good alternative as well to rice cakes if you just want to try something a little bit different. And then I'm going to share this first, my seaweed. I love seaweed snacks. They have these in so many different flavors. But I love pairing these with my breakfast. Sometimes, like when I'm at work, I'll do overnight oats, and I will have seaweed along with that because this kind of helps get like my fat. It's only 2 grams of fat, but I kind of use it as like my healthy fat in a way. It only has 1 gram of carbs for the entire pack. So there's a few different, there's a couple stacks of the seaweed in there. So, and it gives you like that little bit of a crunchy taste to it and everything. So low in protein, 2 grams of fat, low in carbs. I mean, it's just a perfect little, you kind of want to eat something, but you don't want to really undo your diet too much, or you don't have much wiggle room. This is a good little snack to kind of get in there. Definitely try these out. These are in the Asian section as well. And most of my stuff comes from Wegmans. I don't know, Target or Wegmans probably. So if you have those near you, have them accessible, can find some of these things. Okay, and then, like I mentioned before, since I did a lot of yogurt and granola, or like yogurt and cereal, I switched things up. So a lot of cereals have a lot of carbs, they have a lot of sugar, you have to be careful of that. So when I'm in improvement season, it doesn't matter as much. I'm still mindful of how much I'm eating, but I'm not gonna pick something like these rice puffs or wheat puffs as my first choice. They are kind of plain, but I like plain. I can handle that. I can eat a lot of foods that don't necessarily have a whole lot of flavor, or I can mix them and find ways to season them and make them have more flavor, so that's not a problem. But these I found, these were at Wegmans. These I got from not Safeway, ShopRite, I think. So they probably have different versions of these in different grocery stores and everything, and you should be able to find something similar anywhere. But these are great. Like, you can have an entire cup of these, and it's only 60 calories and 13 grams of carbs, no fat, 1 gram of protein. So once again, that's like amazing. So it doesn't put a huge dent, and you can still kind of mix it with something to feel like you're eating a little bit more, you're kind of filling yourself up. And the ingredients, so that's what I like about a lot of these foods here, is they're simple ingredients and they're minimal ingredients. So this is this whole grain brown rice. That's all it is. It's perfect. But I love mixing this recently with my yogurts, just to kind of keep that carb content down. And right now I'm working on the wheat. I already tried the rice one and I ran out. So now I'm trying the wheat. Now I found another bag of the rice. So I just stay stocked up on this stuff, so I always have it. So there's no need to turn to anything else right now. And then to move on to some breads. I still do eat bread while I'm in my prep phase right now. I love bread. I used to buy the loaf from like the bakeries and just sit there and eat it. I love it. One of the breads I eat a lot is Ezekiel Bread, which is in the frozen section at the grocery store. I don't have any on me right now. I just used the last of it, I think, last week, and I wasn't going to buy it again right now because I've been substituting my rice cakes for that bread for my breakfast and stuff, so I didn't want it to go bad before I finished it. But that is one of my favorites. If you can find, there is a low sodium one. If not, there's a regular one like a sesame, cinnamon raisin, but there's different varieties. You should definitely give it a try. It's really good. It's definitely a different texture than other bread. It's a little bit like starchier, harder, but you get used to it. I get used to it. Like I said, I can eat things like that and it doesn't really bother me. So, but another thing here I had found were these flat out thin crust pizzas. So this entire pizza crust is 130 calories, 25 grams of carbs, 5 grams of protein, and 1 gram of fat. You could literally make your own pizza. Just be careful of your toppings you put on there so you're not adding too many additional carbs. But even at 25 grams of carbs, that's like perfect for a meal, even in like a diet phase or a low carb diet. Like that would be perfect. And it's an entire pizza, like fill you up. I did one, I actually have a video on my Instagram. I did a breakfast pizza with this. And it was fun. One night I tried to do this with my son. Like we were going to make our own pizzas and have our own pizzas. So it works out really well. You can turn it into like a family thing. But yeah, I did a breakfast pizza. Like I did my egg scramble and everything on the stove. And then I think I toasted this a little bit and I put everything on top and then stuck it back in the oven for a little bit to warm up. It was really good. So you can get really creative with these. And I think these are a good alternative, especially if you are a pizza lover. It's something to look into. And then my last item I have here, I just found this yesterday. I was just kind of snooping around the bread aisle because, like I said, I didn't want to buy the Ezekiel bread again right now because I didn't want it to go bad, because that one you have to keep in the fridge and it can turn moldy pretty quick if you're not using it regularly. So I found this sweet oat Sola brand bread, and this is supposed to be low carb. So per slice, it is 7 grams of carbs, 5 grams of protein, and 4 grams of fat, which is not a bad deal. So I've been using this the last 2 days. I've been making like chicken sandwiches. So I will top my chicken on this. And this bread, what I like about it is it's a little bit like doughier or denser. It's definitely not like Ezekiel bread, and it's not like regular white bread. It's smaller and like more dense for sure. But I like it. I think it tastes kind of good. I can't put my finger on exactly what it reminds me of, but it's a really good taste and it's a really good texture. I like it. But this is a good alternative too. Look, and I think they have that 647 bread too that is supposed to be low on carbs. So that's something you could look into. I like trying new things. So I will always kind of look at the shelves every time I go to the grocery store and to see what new things are out there, what I might have missed last time, and see what I can find and fit into my daily macros. So I've definitely been doing a lot of experimenting throughout this prep, and I mean, I'm still continuing to lose weight. So you don't have to cut out your carbs completely. You can still eat your carbs. You just have to be mindful of what you're eating. But I've given you guys a lot of great alternatives here. So you guys have a lot to check out.